Hi, today I want to talk about When a Stranger Calls. So, when I first watched this, it was just about a year ago. Um, I went into it totally blind. I didn't know that it was the movie that originated that, like, most famous of horror movie lines. And so it was super effective on me. Because spent the first 20 minutes building up to that line, and then when it happened, because I did not expect it at all, I had to pause the movie and silently scream for like a full minute because I was so terrified. So yeah, it's definitely a wonderfully scary movie, and some people say that the only really scary parts are the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes, and I mean, I guess those are the scariest parts, but I can appreciate what they're doing with like the 40 minutes in between there, where they're kind of like really slowly building up to the end, and then the end happens. And the end, I love how the end kind of like raises the ante, like from the beginning. Like the beginning is, spoiler alert, but the call is coming from inside the house, and then the end is the voice is coming from inside the bed, and it's so scary. So scary. And I like that it ended with like a positive, on sort of a positive note. I mean, it is a positive note that the bad guy dies and everyone else lives, and that's great. But I do appreciate that they had, like the last scene, they kind of like superimposed the crazy guy's face over the house that the babysitter was living in. Because I really do think that, I mean, it was kind of over the top for them to do that. But it does kind of symbolize how, like, that's going to be a part of her life forever now. Like, she's probably always going to be afraid to, like, sleep next to her husband when she can't see his face anymore and stuff like that, It's just going to, like, haunt her forever. I watched this movie for a second time with with a couple friends, quote-unquote friends, who I'm related to. And so I want to talk about the cop character, and to them, it wasn't like a compelling enough reason for him to go after the crazy guy just because the crazy guy killed a couple kids. And I disagreed. I thought that was like really noble of him to it wasn't noble of him to go after the guy. That was just him like doing his job basically as like a private detective. But I think that it showed sort of like noble intentions, like a noble-ish heart, because like my friends were saying that it only makes sense for him to care that much if like someone that he loved, like one of his children, was killed by a crazy person or something, so it was like personal for him. And I disagree. I think that it's cool that it doesn't have to be personal for him for it to like really matter to him. And then they had like 40 minutes in the middle of just like slow build, and I think that they were kind of just like exploring how crazy people are just crazy and we don't really understand them, and there you go. And to a degree, I think that's true, but I also think that there are reasons sometimes, or often, always, there's like at least like a reason or two for the way people act. So I would have liked it if they had like shown some of that with this crazy guy, shown some actual reasons for what he was doing, instead of just being like, well, he's crazy and maybe you can kind of feel sorry for him just because he clearly doesn't even understand what's going through his brain and he's scared and blah blah blah. He was like really creepy, and yeah, so it was a really good movie, very scary. I absolutely recommend it. If you have seen it, let me know if you think it was a good enough reason for the cop to be super intent on catching the bad guy just because he killed a couple kids 7 years ago. And if you haven't seen the movie, you should see the movie because it's really scary. And I'm sorry that I spoiled it if you haven't seen it, but they. All right, bye.